What a week this has been. Winter, spring, winter, and soon spring again. We just keep jumping around. After a cold weekend, Wednesday afternoon highs climbed into the 80s in southwest Oklahoma. The coolest location was Lahoma at 67 degrees. At 3 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, the burning index for large portions in the state was above 50 and in isolated spots in the panhandle above 100. That would mean flame heights at the head of a fire would be 5 or more feet high. We saw soil temperatures climb across the state this week. The Mesonet 4-inch bare soil temperature at Guthrie showed how last weekend's cold pushed soil temperatures down near 35 degrees from Friday through Monday morning. Monday afternoon, the 4-inch bare soil temperature started climbing, reaching 53 degrees Wednesday afternoon. Bare soils have no vegetation to insulate them, so they respond faster to air temperature changes. Even at 2 inches, a soil covered with dead vegetation stayed warmer when it was cooler and didn't get as warm when the heat returned. And when we include Guthrie's 4-inch soil temperature under vegetation, the dark green line, it is warmest during the cooler days and has less variation during warmer days. Here's Gary with a check on drought conditions and what is ahead.
Thanks, Alan. Good morning, everyone. Now, as you're watching this, you're probably getting lots of ice, lots of rain, or maybe even lots of rain and ice. So keep that in mind as I show you this new drought monitor map, because it might be changing next week and changing a lot. So let's get right to that map. So the map before this week's rainfall, the impacts, we see lots of that still severe to extreme drought across southeast Oklahoma, traveling up through central into northwestern Oklahoma, all the way out to the western panhandle. There was a little bit of intensification, not too much on this map. So basically the same map as last week with just a little bit of intensification, but more importantly, no improvements yet, that is. And to show why we had this map still showing intensification and persistence, if we look at those consecutive days with less than at least a quarter inch of rainfall from the Mesonet, you go from 123 days up in Woodward to up in the 60s and 70s across other parts of the state, even more than a month down across southwestern Oklahoma. So that's the reason for the dryness, that's the reason for the drought, and of course we have dryness going all the way back to the beginning of last year. Now we might be going back into another warm, dry pattern after we get past this rainfall, which will be okay. If we take a look at these outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center, this is for the January 18th through 24th period, we see greatly increased odds of above normal temperatures and below normal precipitation. For January, that doesn't mean it's going to be 70, 80, 90 degrees, but just, you know, normal is about 50 or so. And the precipitation, it's very dry, so when we have increased odds of below normal precipitation, that means very dry. So I hope you got lots of rain, very little ice at your place, and I hope we kicked a little of this drought out of the state, and I hope to have a nicer map for you next week. So we'll see you next week on the Mesonet Weather Report.